Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. We're going to listen to the Brendan Rodgers interview after my coffee. I'm going to listen to the Brendan Rodgers interview, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't listen to it yesterday because I went out and enjoyed myself. To all those Rangers fans who think that I'm sitting here crying my eyes out after the game yesterday, no, I was away enjoying myself, and I came home around about midnight last night. Anyway, let's listen to what Brendan Rodgers had to say after the defeat yesterday. Yes, it wasn't a pretty sight, but it's a game of football, so let's see what Brendan Rodgers had to say
Yeah,
yesterday.
listen, firstly, I want to give credit to my players because they fought from the very first whistle, um, made a real competitive game of it. And I never like to comment on officials. It's not something I do. And I've been
Do it!
stood here long enough with you, look, over many years, but that cost us today. The officiating from on field, the John Beaton being in VAR, that was really, really poor. I look at the first incident. If you put the still on that, then of course it looks dangerous. But that's not the reality of the move. There's no force there. The ball's popped up. Okay, it's a booking and it's a booking. So that was really disappointing to go down to 10 men with that. But then to receive the penalty against us.
I will say I've looked at the images and I've looked at other images of the penalty, and when you see it, there's an ex-referee, an ex-Scottish referee on Twitter actually posted a video footage of it, and it actually comes off the Hearts player's head and onto the back of Tomoki Iwata's arm. And the penalty was given for that. And let's face it, there's a lot of other articles that I'm about to go through that talk about the standards. And it's not just Celtic that's been talking about it. There have been a lot of other clubs talking about the standards of refereeing in Scotland. And we don't want to go down the road again where the referees decide to spit a dummy out and go and strike, and we're getting foreign referees. Let's face it, the last time that happened, they were just as bad.
Wow, that was even worse. Because if you watch the incident again,
Yeah.
Tomo's jumped. He's on his way down. He's not looking. He's been sort of nudged a little bit,
Yep.
which then pushes his arm out. So if that's a penalty, then you will have penalties every single
Yep.
game and every single week.
Although, when Celtic played Motherwell the week previous, there was a similar type of incident, and there was no penalty given for that one, strangely enough. But I'm not going to bemoan about the penalties, Brendan. I'm not going to bemoan about the situation of the officiating, because we all know what the officiating is like in Scotland. It's absolutely terrible, and that's not just from our point of view. That's all teams around Scotland are saying that the officiating is absolutely terrible. VAR was not meant to correct referees, if I'm right. It was meant to assist the referee. So that demeans, what's the point in having a referee on the pitch? We'd be as well using it as a computer game and just having a beeping noise like in tennis when the ball doesn't go over when it goes over the line. Anyway, let's listen to Brendan.
Right, in a match because of that. We had one last week away at Motherwell.
Bill, so he talks about it.
The young guy Casey puts his arm up and it hits him. So, but that there is just absolutely shocking decision making, and I feel really, really disappointed. One,
Good for
the
calling them
players,
out.
two, for our supporters, because we're down a man, we get a poor penalty against us, and all of a sudden you're chasing the game.
I was speaking to Lawrence Shankland a moment ago, and he felt even the red card was harsh. Do you feel the referees are, or the VAR is looking at that on a still image, and it's not in terms of the actual action?
The fact is you've got the Lanarkshire Referees Association, which is an organisation that is closed to. Well, we all know what the Lanarkshire Referee Association is, but it is a closed association that has no. You can't question them. You can't question them. The worst thing about it is the TV pundits can hear what the referee and the VAR officials are saying. They're talking to each other. They can hear what they're saying. And it's about time that this conversation, if they want to go down the whole route of VAR, they have to bring it in as similar to rugby so that they can hear them talking to each other rather than this hidden agenda that seems to be. I think the only way for VAR going forward is that they open up the mics. And it's as simple as that. And if they don't want to open up the mics, it's like, well, what have they got to hide? What do they have to hide, really? I think they really don't. For integrity of the game, for integrity of the game, they need to open up their mics and let us hear, let the public hear, because they can do it. Let's face it, they can do it, and they can let the public hear what's actually been said between the referee and an official that isn't even at the game, that's sitting in a little cubbyhole in an office somewhere in deep, dark Lanarkshire.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. They're not looking at the reality of the action and the move. If you freeze frame which I can see and which we see all the time, then of course it looks dangerous. But that wasn't the reality of the move. You got to see it in the whole context of everything. And so I thought the officials were very, very poor. And like I say, it was really, really disappointing.
I mean, that's about two and a bit minutes now. He's been going on about the officiating being poor, and he praised the team in the first 10 seconds of the video. You should not be praising that team, Brendan. The players did not turn up yesterday.
What do you think they're thinking there then? He's endangering the opponent, or is that the only explanation could be for serious foul play?
Yeah, listen, you probably ask John Beaton.
Yes, exactly.
In VAR what he's seeing.
Exactly.
Because if he's seeing that dangerous play and then he's seeing the handball, then he's probably seeing something different to
everyone else.
To everyone else.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you're connected with Hearts, of course.
Oh, the Masonic Lodge.
But no, I just think that they're seeing a different game, and it's incidents like that's why referees and officials get challenged, because that's not knowing the game. That's not seeing the game.
I think even Stephen Naismith said they were fortunate with the penalty award. Is it a bigger issue, i.e. the law of the game?
Yeah, it is, and especially in big games. It changes the whole picture in the game. And that's why I say I give credit to my players. They didn't get disappointed. We had to reorganise. They fought. They ran themselves into the ground, and they showed they're there for the fight. And if we get a little bit of luck, and then we maybe get a goal, which then can bring us even closer to getting something from the game. But that wasn't to be. We give everything, and we fight another day.
We fight another day, says Brendan. We fight another day. The fact is, Celtic just weren't good enough yesterday. They weren't good enough yesterday, and that is it. The buck lies with Brendan. The buck lies with, two people that are now on gardening leave because their recruitment hasn't been good enough for Celtic.
See, we missed the penalty. He makes a good save. Adams on. He's done the right thing. He just got to lift it a wee bit more. But like you say, we had a few other moments in the.
It was a poor penalty, Brendan. He hits it down the middle of the pitch. He never even gets it a foot off the ground, and the keeper is lucky the way that it hits his foot. Even if you're going to hit it straight at the keeper, what are you expecting? You should be putting it into a corner. You should be putting some height into it so that it's nowhere near the keeper. Don't fucking make it out to something that was not. It was a piss poor penalty.
In the second half, that you're just waiting for it to go in and that momentum changes, but it just wasn't to be.
In terms of your this weekend, then, do you feel it's damaging in terms of the title race, or is it one of those ones where there's going to be many more twists and turns?
Yeah, I think it's it. But listen, if we win the game, you go a point ahead.
And a point ahead, and let's face it, is nothing. All it gives you is the bragging rights. With still 2 games to play against our Glasgow rivals, they would be thinking that they could still win the title if that was the case, even though we were 1 point ahead. So let's not get all excited. And all the Sevconian Rangers fans that decided to don the channel during the night, it says more about you and your mindset. And I actually feel sorry for some of you out there, because I'm living the life that you can't even dream of. and I'm going to boast about that every single day. Yes, I live the life that you could only dream of, Sevconian fans.
It's okay, pitch you on top, but it's still very tight.
Yes,
and
exactly.
After the game now we've lost, it's still very tight.
Yep.
So yeah, we're disappointed not to take something from the game. It was a game that we had a real positive start in. But sadly, like I say, we through no fault of our own, we got put into a really, really poor position.
Through no fault of our own, we got put in a poor. Do we buy that? Is that Brendan Rodgers just making excuses? Anyway, the big breaking news this morning is, Celtic fans, that Liel Abada has been sold by Celtic. Liel Abada has gone to get a medical with Charlotte FC. Go on yourself, Liel. Career moves of greatness in European football extremes. He's going to the MLS side, Charlotte FC. The 22-year-old has undergone a medical. He will undergo a medical soon. Reports are saying, and it'll be one of the 10 biggest transfer fees that Celtic have ever got for a player. For a player that's split the dummy out, getting 8 million, that will rise to around about 10 million, which is believed to be achievable add-ons Celtic for Celtic, it's a fantastic fee. It's a cracking deal. It's a cracking bit of money. Getting 8 million for Liel Abada. Yes, getting 8 million for Liel Abada. But let's face it, he's down tools and spat the dummy. He'll now undergo a medical in America and link up with his club for the new MLS season that has just started. So the fact that we've got a big bit of money for Liel Abada, we put that to bed and we say, adios amigo. Chris Sutton has been talking about one Celtic player, has outlined that he could go to the very top of the game. And Yang, who was sent off, I don't even want to talk about the Yang sending off. You know, it's one of those situations. But Brendan Rodgers has a player, and when he came back from the Asia Cup, you know, there was suspicion that the 21-year-old Yang, could he make it at Celtic? But Yang, coming back from the Asia Cup, looks a new player, says Chris Sutton. He went on and says, I know he's a raw talent still, but out of all the wingers at the club, I actually think that a sneaky feeling that he could be the one, Yang could be the one to go to the very top. It's not... He's got something about him, he says. He's got pace, he's got a trick in him. His final ball was still a little bit inconsistent, says Chris Sutton. But the Celtic fan base seem to be equally impressed, said big Chris Sutton. Yang, over the past couple of weeks, apart from the red card yesterday, and I hope that doesn't go against him for too long, should Celtic appeal the red cards? There's a thought. Should they appeal the red cards? Well, you're not going to get it appealed. Just fucking get on with it, Celtic, at the end of the day. But Chris Sutton says that Yang is one to watch, and he reckons that he can go all the way to the top. Now, talking about referees and such, and obviously the Tomoki Iwata situation yesterday, the one and only Neil McCann says that John Beaton got it completely wrong, which I'm quite surprised about. But he did say it. He says that on the flip side, he says, when you look at the decision for the Iwata out for the handball, he said for the foot up in the air, he says, yep. But then when you look at that was Yang that had the foot up in the air. When you look at Iwata and he jumps up for the ball, you know, the ball comes off the head of the Hearts player. It's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable, but it is what it is. We move on. Callum McGregor, I did say yesterday before the game that the situation with Callum McGregor, and I was a little bit worried about it. I says it'll be interesting to see who steps up to the mark in the middle of that midfield. Now, a lot of Celtic fans have been saying, drop Callum McGregor, get him out, he's terrible. We need rid of him and such like. There's been a lot of comments like that this season. It showed you yesterday the type of performance that you'll get in the midfield without Callum McGregor. Keith Jackson even says that Celtic will not win the SPFL if they're without Callum McGregor. Celtic wasted the glorious opportunity to go top, and rightly so. The Sevconians came and had a good laugh on the channel, because let's face it, I ripped them to death the day before. All in the name of banter and good, and it's good to see so many of them coming onto the channel during the night, and to think that I'm going to sit and reply to their comments and be on my phone. Oh, check this cunt, baldy specky bastard. Comments like that, it doesn't bother me one bit. I'm out enjoying my best life here in Spain, where you can't even afford to get a 2 weeks holiday, you fucking... Anyway, the door was open for Rangers by Celtic. The door was opened by Rangers for Celtic to go top of the league, and we didn't. It's a simple fact. And we were missing Callum McGregor yesterday. Don't care what anyone says, but we're missing Callum McGregor. And that's as simple as that. People saying that, look, if he's... Callum McGregor is a Celt through and through. He's like me and you. He fucking... Do you know what I mean? He's a player that when he's out, you notice he's out. When he's not in that midfield, it just doesn't tick the same. I mean, even when Kyogo comes on and coming into that midfield position yesterday, and for all the running about that Kyogo's doing, and trying to make space for himself, it was at a point in the game where it's like we could play for another hour and Celtic wouldn't score yesterday. Celtic wouldn't score in the fucking roundabout girls down here. Anyway, the midfield might not be the same without him, but it's the consistency. It's the consistency of this Celtic team this season, and Brendan Rodgers needs to sort out that consistency. From playing absolutely fantastic, fast-flowing attacking football against Dundee to then going back into their shells against Hearts yesterday, and I did say for the first 10 minutes, Hearts were dictating the pace Hearts were dictating the pace and not allowing Celtic, and Celtic looked shell-shocked and not getting into positions. It was a horrible start to the game, and it's not one that Celtic would have expected to do, or Brendan Rodgers anyway. So tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me what you think about Liel Abada. Tell me what you think about Liel Abada leaving Celtic for £8 million plus. That'll make the Sevconians choke on their breakfast this morning. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.